Now this brings me to our next stereotype or biggest relationship mistake, and that's that sex and love are the same thing. People thinking that sex and love are the same thing.
Right. I find this hugely instrumental in dating and when it comes to single sex, and hugely with women in like huge subtexty, non-verbal communication ways to girls. When it comes to sex and pleasure, we kind of like, pile love in there as if the two go together all the time, and they don't. You can have sex for pleasure, you can have sex for fun, people have sex for many different reasons, and love is often not part of that equation. Love can use sex as an expression, but they're certainly not mutually inclusive. And I think what happens is that when young people, especially young people who don't have a lot of experience in relationships, start moving into exploring their sexuality and their love, they're so used to being told that the two are exactly the same thing that they get into relationships that they shouldn't be getting into. They commit to people for the wrong reasons, and so I think that we need to step away from that stereotype if we're going to enjoy sex for what it is, and then enjoy love for what it is, and then sometimes they cross over, and that's great. But that's not when you have sex with someone, you're now in a relationship. If you kiss someone, now she's your girlfriend or he's your boyfriend. We just assume all these things based on that stereotype instead of taking one step at a time to kind of monitor how we're feeling, where we are with each other. Is this a relationship? Is it becoming something else? And so I think it usually bites people who are single and looking for something, and then equating sex with love.
If we're in the group that groups sex and love together as one, how do we change that?
As a single person, how do you change that? You start believing it to be true.
So you just need to be more aware, I guess.
You need to be more aware. And also, you need to be more aware of like why you're sleeping with people. So if you're desperately lonely and you want a relationship, you want connection, and so you sleep around, as a man or a woman, you sleep around to try and find some of that connection, and you're walking away from each of those feeling miserable, used, sad, rejected. You're having sex for the wrong reasons. So I think the first thing you need to do is ask yourself why you're having sex. If you're single, why you're having sex, what are you looking for, what do you hope to get out of it, and then communication every single time, always with the communication. Be honest with yourself about what you want from an encounter, where it's going, and to always ask who you're with if you're on the same page. No assumptions. You start having sex, it's great. 2 months later, you're still having sex. Now there are feelings. Talk about it. Don't assume you're mutually exclusive. You're exclusive. Don't assume you're monogamous. Don't assume it's love. Ask, talk, be self-aware, make good choices. This is where it starts.
Do you think we need to start looking at a different way to educate our young people when it comes to the relationship between love and sex?
Oh God, I think the first thing we need to do with that is to acknowledge that sex happens and that sex is fun. When we educate sex, we educate about the bad things. You're going to fall pregnant. You're going to lose your ability to be a career advancing. You're going to get STDs. You're going to get HIV. You're going to die. Your career is going to be over. Your schooling is going to be over. It's a whole bunch of fear, and that becomes very contradictory when there are a lot of pleasurable feelings that go with it. It feels good. It's exciting. You're learning about your body. You orgasm. You see, lust in media and images. You feel chemistry with your partners. And so you get this one messaging which is all doom and gloom, and because it's trying to deny that this part happens. And so if there's going to be good education about it, the education is like, absolutely, sex feels great. It's pleasurable. It's exciting. It's curious. You want to explore it. And here are some things to consider around it. Like if you're going to do it, if you're going to play the game, here are some rules of the game. Use a condom. Consider contraception. Consider how you feel about the person, that they don't have ownership of your body, that it doesn't need to go anywhere. And I think with women, that starts hugely with them becoming comfortable, finding their own orgasm, getting comfortable with masturbation. So we are 100 years away from that because we can't even deal with sex as pleasure for kids, and we certainly can't deal with like our young children masturbating or touching themselves. That's how far we are. You know,
Yeah.
so where do we start? We start there.
Well, we can't even speak about sex ourselves. It's still a taboo topic amongst adults, and it's still hard for people who are in relationships to speak about sex. So I think we are a far way a ways from there. But wouldn't it be great?
Wouldn't it be great?